Aliens, apes, and zombies on this fun day Sunday. A lot going on in the space. Retweet the room as we're inviting friends up to chat. As you know, in the top you'll see a live broadcast in a couple seconds here, but we'll get some tunes going for everyone. The song is from I Am Six. And it's the NovoVerse song. So.
23, 69. 23, 69. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse. In the NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse. In the NovoVerse. It's lit in the NovoVerse. In the NovoVerse. NFTs in the NovoVerse. The NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse.
Awesome. Here we go.
Whoa, welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies. We got a full house here. I love it. It's great. We're going to start off right away because we have Dylan on and JRR Token. Whenever JRR Token, contacts me in this Web3 world, it's always something fun that we got to dive right into. And we're going to dive right into Crypto the Game. And right after that, Avery Piper, I want to get you on a question for Crypto the Game. Well, maybe at the conclusion, so we can, get some, the 2 minute and 4 question presser going there, because I think it puts everyone right in the limelight. And, I think it would be a great addition to the transition to 2 and 4, the 2 minute and 4 minute, 2 minute and 4 second podcast. We also have Craig from Craig Coin Purse. Hopefully the weather is cooling down for you out there in Australia. Ian as well from the City Farmers, and this Nouns proposal. It just opened up about an hour ago. And of course, JRR Token. So I brought us around the house, but I want to bring us to Dylan here and talk about something that interests me all the time is crypto and gaming, but this is Crypto the Game. Explain, because it's very mysterious right now.
Yeah, no, I think this is the first time I'm actually explaining the premise of the game publicly, but the goal was to essentially just be super mysterious with it. But I actually know JR Token from his previous life, and we worked together on an HQ Trivia partnership. So I ran partnerships at HQ Trivia, which was a live mobile game show. It aired from like 2017 to 2019. and kind of took the world by storm. But essentially, it took a traditional game show format that was live and mobile and interactive, and you had the chance to win real money. So I kind of like had a previous life in TV, and the reason why I joined HQ and was so excited about it was this kind of like revelation of taking a traditional TV show format, in this case trivia, and making it live and mobile and interactive, but doing so with all different types of formats. So HQ could have and should have done the same thing with a Shark Tank format or with a dating show or a talent competition. And I personally am a huge Survivor fan. So for the past 5+ years, I've been obsessed with this idea of essentially creating this massive Survivor game where thousands of people buy in, goes to this pot, you're randomly assigned a tribe, you compete in different immunity challenges over the course of a few weeks, and all this time you're kind of voting each other out one by one. Last person standing wins the pot. So that's essentially what this is. We'll be launching sometime in the new year, ideally in January, but kind of using Twitter right now to just create a ton of buzz and intrigue. And so when I told Token about the idea, he recommended I come on here and talk about it.
When you say pot, what is the definition of pot? Is it like a bowl of Lucky Charms here? Is it a mountain of ETH? What are we talking about here?
Mountain of ETH for sure. So
pot?
we're currently thinking, that the buy-in to play this game will be 0.1 ETH. That will go towards this prize pool essentially. To buy in, you're basically just like sending 0.1 ETH to our corporate wallet, multi-sig, however we set it up. We're thinking we'll take 10% of that just to like pay for the game operations and essentially pay ourselves to keep it up and running. But you can do some kind of back of the napkin math that at 1,000 players, the winner gets 90 ETH, and it's kind of a winner take all format. So
wow,
we're kind of we're hoping.
And that's it, last man standing, battle royale style, winner take all the crypto.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
I think I hear Craig Coinpurse's purse going ding 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 ling ding 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 ling ding.
I'm ready, man. We need a gamble.
Yeah, so at HQ Trivia, we had this referral loop where essentially for everyone you brought into the game, you received an extra life to play whenever you got a question wrong. And for this specific game, we're building it so that for everyone you bring into the game within your network, you'll receive immunity to play throughout the game. So it's definitely has virality baked into it. But honestly, the thing I'm most excited for is just like the social dynamics that take place, because people will form alliances on and off the platform. We're going to encourage folks to connect their Twitter account. So you'll be playing as your crypto Twitter identity. And honestly, I'm just excited to see if that means, someone like Novo who has a decent following, does that make him a threat? Does that make him, a pseudo leader? And I'm honestly, similar to the show Survivor, just curious to see what happens.
I'm the type to make a lot of alliances. I'll take a lot of extra lives, kind of like through Mario. You're just trying to find those green mushrooms that pop out that give you the 1-ups. So that would be for the alliance factor within that. But like that referral gamification thing is actually like kind of the beginning stages of how I met Craig Coinpurse. Is almost like how Friend Tech started off, and like how that connectivity of talking with people, networking with people, inviting up people along the way, collecting keys in that case, to this where I'm looking right now on Crypto the Game _, and that's at Crypto the Game _ for X, formerly known as Twitter. And you can see right now, the plot, and you are like slowly leaking the plot even for the game.
Yeah, so that's kind of the Twitter strategy here, is basically like over the course of the next few weeks, just dripping out the entire gameplay. So we started with the pot and then connecting your wallet to play, buying in, referring friends. On Monday, we'll start teasing immunity. But if you go to the most recent tweet that was retweeted from the brand account, which I tweeted, is a sneak peek of what the onboarding will actually look like. So it's currently up there right now. But essentially,
and that's also on the top. Sorry to cut you off. That's also on the top of Spaces. If you're listening to Spaces and you're just tuning in, up there on Spaces, if you look at the first tweet pinned up there, it's live from the NovoVerse. It's actually live video action. You see 2 video avatars. Avery Piper, who's actually physically, let me see what you're working on. I'm going to get in the big picture. Avery Piper from 2 and 4, actually physically working on apparel right now. Yes. So, I mean, we're making NFT worthy apparel right there. As you see the lovely JR token. Thank you for shaving again today. Nice bald head.
Looking good. Just try to keep it nice and crispy for you.
On the avatar, but then also up there on the pinned tweet is also from Dylan's personal account, because the founder, the brainchild of this, and something probably sitting around the desk just guessing here, something like you thought of like maybe like at HQ Trivia and taking your experiences from there. So maybe that's a question, taking experiences from work or maybe like water cool type talk with friends.
Yeah. Listen, that's why I had to grab them and make sure we got on here and got the alpha to out through the NovoVerse first. Dylan is incredible, and we've actually worked together professionally. When he was at HQ, we were doing some of the earlier brand experiences. We did Nickelodeon Double Dare. That was my favorite one. Slimed everybody.
Like a 90s themed episode of HQ.
Yeah, we did Audible. We did a handful of really cool Wendy's that was awesome. I
Yeah,
remember
that
we
was
did
Super Bowl, right? Burgers for
yeah,
life.
like HQ was something else. But while it was wild, Dylan was also really in the weeds, understanding like how we make this a real hit, and understanding how do we get people connected to this in meaningful ways. So, while that did its thing and ran its course, it was cool, very historic, probably one of the earlier play to earn live
Yeah.
multiple games. I
And
would say, if
the
not
craziest
very
thing is
first.
it was like obviously pre-crypto.
Absolutely.
I guess you
Well,
know,
crypto was
not
happening, but
pre-crypto, but before we could like integrate it meaningfully.
experiential
Exactly.
crypto.
Before consumer crypto. But I guess like it's crazy to think back that like we were losing money on like every withdrawal from PayPal that was under a certain threshold, and how antiquated and like the way of paying players out is, and it just like makes too much sense to do a consumer game using crypto rails.
But it was also fun being glued at like 9 p.m. every night for about 15 to 20 minutes to a trivia game that was live with tons of other people. So when he told me about this, I was like connecting the dots, and I'm like, well, if somebody's really going to do a crypto game and make it somewhat a explosive viral hit, Dylan is definitely capable of doing that. So I'm pumped.
I appreciate it.
This comes out, what rolls out of here, I'm following. I'm ready.
Amazing.
I
hope you win.
Yeah,
I hope you win. The more folks you refer, the more immune you'll be.
I will. I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear about the little game mechanics you come up with, and how this plays out. Because it's like, are you going to go to Cosmo Demichi versus CryptoNovo? Is it going to be Battle of the Titans, or is somebody else who's just totally random going to take a pot one night somehow? It'll be great.
Yeah. So the
really
way we're
cool
currently thinking about it is like each morning a different immunity challenge will go live, and all the different tribes that you're randomly assigned to will essentially compete for immunity that night. So you can think, classic arcade games, digital scavenger hunts, things like that. They'll all go live each day at the same time, and whoever finishes at the top of the leaderboard that night or solves the scavenger hunt first wins immunity for their tribe. Everyone else has to vote people out that night. And slowly over the course of 3 weeks, the field is whittled down. And like I said, last person standing wins the pot. But actually, my favorite element of the game is that once we get to the final three, everyone that played the game thus far, so 1,000 people hopefully, will be voting for the winner. So you almost have to be ruthless but respected. So tread lightly with your backstabbing and alliances, because ultimately the players that play will crown the winner.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Avery Piper kind of has a gamification with apparel, where each piece of apparel that was distributed is linked to a seed phrase. So AP, maybe we can get an alliance of shirt owners to go in on this. And the shirt owners can maybe split the pot. Because there's actually some pretty big alpha within the shirt owner holders that own their apparel.
Yeah. And just so I understand, Dylan, are there so at first there are teams involved? I'm unfortunately not like a big. I think it's not even that Survivor was before my time. I think I was just too busy watching SpongeBob or whatever I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm wondering specifically what. In terms of the teams long term for this, I'm wondering, can I represent more people? What's your thoughts around that? Obviously, if I have a wallet and I'm one person, I can do that. But is there like a public way to do that?
There's the NFT community teams that are going to be crazy to play with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just like rocket scientists, the artifact teams versus those crypto punks.
Yeah, so the way that we're currently thinking through season one, and I'm honestly so excited about future seasons, because while the gameplay or high level theme will be the same, everyone buys in, votes people out. Last one standing was the pot. The mechanics within that can change, but for season one, we're thinking that everyone will individually be randomly assigned a tribe. So hypothetically, if all of your shirt holders were playing the game and some of them were randomly in your tribe, you could have alliances with other shirt holders that were in other tribes, because at a point in the game, the tribes will all merge and it will turn into an individual game. But from the onset, there's not currently a way where the shirt holders could themselves form a tribe from the onset, but essentially the
a little more randomized.
Yeah. The tribes will be randomized, but it's kind of like up to you to form alliances with or without.
Understood. We'll
friends.
talk, Dylan. We'll talk. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love getting the alpha right now, like live action on it, because I did see, I did see the following count. I think I was like following around like 500 or 600, just like absolutely shoot up. Just recently, just with the newer tweets kind of coming out, and kind of just like what to expect, and like kind of like even asking with my first question is just like that slow leak of information and knowledge, but we're kind of getting it up front right now, live here in the NovoVerse. Please retweet the room.
News.
Live alpha going right now. Retweet the room. It's up there on the pinned tweet from Dylan. The creator. Is that right? The creator, the founder of Crypto the Game, the brainchild. That sounds more Web3-esque.
Yes, it's definitely my brainchild. I'm working on it with two folks, Tyler and Brian, who both worked at the same startup as me most recently, fellow Survivor fans. And Ty is the man behind all the amazing animations you see in the front end on the landing page right now. And Brian used to work at DraftKings and is really helping us build out all the different game mechanics. And I think like the big vision and the goal is to essentially have folks be able to spin up different tournaments and play with their friends. You could do a high stakes version, you can do a whale only version, and similar to how FanDuel and DraftKings gives you the ability to play with your friends. We're hoping that we can do that eventually as well.
You got the website right there, cryptothegame.com. You have the formerly known as Twitter handle right there.
We're still calling it Twitter.
_ I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter. Because repost, retweet. I don't know how. I'm just still stuck in the old vocabulary, but definitely retweet the room. Julie, thanks for listening. You can also watch right up there with Paris Shilton. A bunch of people watching on YouTube, so thank you for watching on YouTube and also on Twitch. You can find all that in CryptoNovo right there. And Avery Piper, do you maybe have a 2-minute and 4-second question for not to put you or to put
hot seat
crypto the game on the spot, but you put me in a 2-minute and 4-second situation, and it's kind of like under pressure, but it turns out well, especially when you can edit it too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can't do that here. I'm wondering, if and Novo, this is a 2-minute 4-second question style, but I think it's more like it's breaking the ice, I guess, to some degree, so everybody could chat, but we're not all going to be soaking up all the time. I think, something I did today that I actually want to ask about is it was early in the morning and someone else is in Europe and I was trying to interview them for this podcast that I have, which I'm very excited about and very emphatic about. And I was so excited that I actually forgot to press the record. Now it's in the ether. And I cannot get time. So I'm wondering, everybody here, have you experienced those moments, or when, maybe a quick anecdote of when you've experienced messing something up, but loving the thing that you're doing so much that you're okay with it. You are not so mad at yourself that you stop doing what you're doing. Like, what's the thing maybe you've experienced in your life that you've had to muster up some courage after a failure to continue to do it? And I can pass it along, I guess. Let's go to JRR Token.
So great, thanks. Well, actually, funny enough, is probably when we were working on HQ Trivia. I remember that that was an experiment, and it was very janky
at South by?
No.
I don't even know if you know about South by. That's where my head went.
Oh, that you could tell that story. It worked out great. I think when we were just doing some of these like big launches, it was like the countdown timer would be extra long, and people were like, "Where's the game starting?" And when is this going to kick off? Where sometimes the questions would just be weird and off. But that's what startup life was about back then. But thank God things are a lot better now. But I don't know, push through that.
Yeah. So I think everyone always wondered why we didn't, launch new shows or, iterate beyond trivia in some of the formats that I mentioned earlier. And a big reason for that is because we kind of like exploded and scaled and grew so quickly, and all of the product engineering resources had to go towards maintaining and fixing the HQ servers and making sure it didn't glitch versus focusing on new shows and new formats. But there was really just no way to prevent the amount of like glitching that was happening. So in every brand show we did, honestly, there was a moment in the show where things weren't going according to plan, whether, the questions weren't showing up, or Scott couldn't see, his teleprompter, or, any number of things that went wrong. And the one thing that immediately came to mind was something that we did with Token, which I don't even know if he realizes, but at the in-person South by show that we did with you guys, we completely had no connectivity. It was our first time taking the show on the road in that way, and basically for all of these things, we just need to ask Scott Rogowski, who was the host of HQ, to just stall for as long as possible. And he has so much, I guess, like stand-up comedy experience, and he was masterful at buying for time. But behind the scenes, no one actually knew that we were completely scrambling, and things were.
You know what? And that just goes to you always keeping your cool no matter what. That's
not internally.
That's definitely your special power.
Yeah.
Externally, zen.
Yeah.
Internally,
glitching is
yes.
the answer.
It's almost like a duck. You're like calm above the water, but under the water, your legs are going a mile a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of had one that kind of people played me for a fool for a while. And I just, at the end of the day, I kind of just had to laugh. And I was a director of a camp, and my counselors got me good because for like 3 or 4 hours, I was looking for my sunglasses. And they kind of like, every time I asked them, like, hey, have you seen my sunglasses? Like, I don't know if I put them down somewhere. They're not in my backpack. And they kind of gave me like a dumb look, like every single time. And like, kind of like towards the end of the day, I kind of got frustrated, and I took off my hat, and sure enough, my sunglasses flew off, and they were on the top of my hat the entire day. And all my counselors just laughed at me like, oh man, like, yeah, you're looking for your sunglasses the whole time, and they're just resting on top of your hat. So that would be my answer to it. A little bit lighthearted, but not as much as you guys, where you guys had an audience and a fan, and you're asking a host to, do a little stand-up improv. I was just looking for my sunglasses. Ian, Craig, you guys got one of those? You
also got your whole collection stolen, and here you are, you're back. So that's also your, digging in and keep going.
Well, yeah, that's an epic. That's more than an epic trial. That's more than losing your glasses. Different style. I lost my big shades. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You lost the big shades. You got my joke. Dang it, Novo.
Your pink shades are like kind of permanently attached now, though, so it worked out pretty good, I think.
Wow.
They are.
It was meant to be, man.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But thinking through the question, like moments of failure, and I was trying to think through and pin down like one in particular, but I don't know. Like the thing about being an entrepreneur, especially somebody who I got off the school bus at my mom's small business. So even when I was like an 8-year-old kid, I was thinking in my head, like, I'm going to start my own business one day. I don't need a boss. Like, you can make money like by doing things like the way you want to do them. And but the only way to have any kind of success or longevity as an entrepreneur is to fail a lot, and to turn a lot of losses into lessons so you can keep moving forward. So I was trying to pin down one, but I don't know. I mean, I'll just say most of my career up until this point.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, I missed the question. I was chasing my son around the house. He's walking here soaking wet from the pool. What was the biggest failures in your career? Was it?
No, I mean,
no,
it's
but
not
you
like
could do that. It was more like
I was going to agree with you before and just say up till now pretty much the same thing. Just everything's a failure until you hit that thing, but you don't get to the good bit without having the learning bits. So I'd be exactly the same. Lots of failings often, but I guess you could call them learnings. So as cheesy as that sounds, it's probably the hardest thing. I was a bit different. I came from an employee sort of mindset, both my parents, their parents, always employees, very afraid, make sure you save for a rainy day kind of thing. And it was actually my brother-in-law about sort of 7 years ago that sort of got me out of that mindset. Not that it's something to break someone free of, but just to think in a different way. And sort of learned the hard way, or not learned the hard way, but sort of decided, okay, I'll take the risks. And what's the worst that can happen? I'm not going to die. Well, hopefully not.
I mean, we are, but we all are eventually, right? So
yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I might as well die trying to do what I love, which is what you sort of said, working for yourself. And yeah, I think that's an important lesson for anyone listening out there. I think it's an important lesson is don't be afraid to fail, because from my experience, that's the only way I've got to anything that's worth having, was failing often. Probably fail as often as you can, as quickly as you can.
So I guess great moral of the story tonight. You know, life's a bunch of games, and you're gonna lose a lot, but some of them you win. So
exactly right.
sounds like Crypto the game is gonna have a lot of losers and a bunch of lucky winners.
And let's get back to that. Let's get back to how you're going to be able to facilitate, this game and push this game out. I mean, you have, what's the timeline here? Beginning of the year, you're going to start calculating people towards getting these alliances, pushing things out. Yeah. And then it's a 3 week. You're calling it a tournament, a 3 week game, a 3 week season. Yeah. Oh, so that means. You know what season means?
Season 2.
That means there's fun. Yes.
Yeah. So we're hoping to launch the countdown essentially for season 1 in the new year. So at some point in January, we're still putting the finishing touches on it. And I think unlike most projects and games, this one's unique in the sense that entries will eventually lock and then the game will begin. So we have to essentially launch it with some sort of countdown, and all the signing up and referrals will take place during that countdown. But honestly, the best way to stay informed is just follow the game on Twitter. And I know we're being secretive and kind of teasing out the gameplay right now, but as soon as we get close to shipping it, we'll be very loud and making a ton of noise. And yeah, honestly, last week I thought of the idea for season 2, and I think I like it even more than season 1. But I guess for that, I'd say just stay tuned.
Beautiful. I know JR Token might need to cut out eventually, but I want to thank you, Dylan, for sure. And you know what, maybe we come on and you can kind of just give us a weekly update on the game and what's happening and the alliance, and we could see what's happening when this island gets smaller and smaller. Because
yes, for sure, I'd love that
3 week tournament. Come on 3 back-to-back weeks. We could see who's eliminated, who's still alive. And maybe I can use these broadcasting rights to make influence on the game in a positive way.
Love it.
This is going, selfishly speaking. But Token, thanks for approaching me. And you guys know how I feel on JR. Token speaks, I listen. These tassel hats do have some padding, but I can't hear underneath them. So if you're listening out there, none of this is ever financial advice. We're just here finding cool things from cool people. So there again, Token.
My pleasure. And I get my info from other great people like Dylan. So
thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, of course. Crypto the game coming in the new year. I am in.
And if you want to wait,
it's right around the corner.
If you want to wait another minute or two, there's a thing. I got to push this button. It sings the song. You can claim this POAP right now. Yes, there's a POAP that you can claim here in about a minute. And it kind of just gives the rundown of the show for this evening here for those memory banks that you can have. And within there, it gives a little brief rundown of who we talked to. It gives the prices of different ETH coins, which we're going to be talking, or not ETH coins, but different cryptocurrency coins that we're going to be talking with Craig Coinporse here in a minute. It also has a special guest there with CryptoTheGame.com, so you can click into that. Also has a link to the city farmers with the Nounsbury proposal, which is now live action. So that POAP claims a little bit more than just a POAP. It gives you informational stuff on tonight's show, so you can reach out to these people. You can see how you can get into helping out, support the Nouns DAO proposal that Ian has proposed just simply by retweeting and liking it. Also looking at the YouTube video. Then also gives you links to cryptothegame.com and also tracks where cryptocurrency is going and has been. So you can say, man, I should have bought that. I should have sold that. So if you have a POAP, you can go to the secret word, and the secret word for this week is Berry with a capital B, BERRY. That's right, for the proposal that is live action right now.
Yeah, so this is so awesome. Good luck with this, Ian. I checked it out earlier today.
Like just a couple minutes ago. I mean, this thing went live just like honestly minutes ago, not even hours, like straight up minutes ago. I beat you to it. Yeah, I got it in there. Dylan, yeah, thank you. Feel free if you guys got to bounce.
Real quick before you guys bounce, thank you for the congratulations. I just wanted to say, if you go to the nouns.camp, there's a couple different ways to access nouns voting. This is nouns.wtf we're looking at. If you go to nouns.camp, I dropped the link in our private chat for the people here in the call. Even if you don't have a nouns NFT, you can leave a positive vote. You can leave a for vote. And some people in the community really take that into consideration. So if there's anybody watching or in the call, who's able to leave a 0 vote, it'll cost you gas, which sucks. I apologize for that, but definitely would mean a lot and go really far towards the success of the proposal. So. Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Dang,
yeah.
awesome.
Really great hanging out with you guys. Really cool to learn more about your game.
Yeah. Talk soon. Bye, guys.
Excellent. There again, you claim that POAP. You can get that POAP by typing in Berry. That's capital BERRY. You have about 20, 25 minutes, 28 minutes to claim that. If it's not working, just shoot me a DM and I'll just send you one. But, claiming it's easier, faster, funner. Kind of pop that right in your wallet. And you can also, if you're feeling generous while that wallet's there, nouns.camp proposal /465. That's a proposal number. You could just put an I believe vote in there and people look at that and they, calculate that, because if you don't have a nouns to vote, there's other ways that you can get in all that Web3 connectivity, showing and spreading the love within that space, which was awesome. We're going to start transitioning over to what's happening in the crypto world, in this crypto game. The bull market is kind of coming on us. And, I'm kind of glad that the market's resetting here a little bit. If you're looking at the fear and greed index, it was getting real greedy last time we were on the show. You can watch our past episodes. Please do so. We actually are live in LinkedIn now. Our faces are live in LinkedIn for all those professionals out there in LinkedIn. Yeah. House.
Business.
That's right.
Business. Love LinkedIn.
Yeah. Oh, was that confetti that just happened there? Correct coin purse. But I see confetti launch all over the place.
Yeah. To all my friends who used to work in suits, how you going?
So we are there. We are live action. So thanks for tuning in each week on that. And I kind of just like tracking the markets, and I don't have a lot of time week to do it. So Sundays is kind of a time to go back and reflect, and also back to the POAP. Going into the POAP and kind of for me at least, going in and just typing in the different numbers, and there again. The prices on that. Oh, I think I forgot to change the date on it. Drats. The date on that should have been from Friday. I think that's when I made the POAP. But it makes me see the different prices going up, going down, going sideways. Last week, it kind of seemed that it was locking in gains. Right now, we're on a little bit of a correction, but that's what you want, is they want that fear and greed index to go down. You want some of you want some people either to take gains or, I don't know, lose a little bit, give a little bit of an entry point, because what I've seen in the space is that, sometimes it filters down. And in our private chat here, good friend Craig's kind of pointing arrow up. And I'm not saying the arrow up in a avalanche type of a way with the bear, but, good things. So what are you thinking? Solana phone, tons of new things coming out. Where do you want to start here?
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
And you can start off with an intro too. Sorry, I know you're a while, but a lot of people listening might not.
Okay, yeah, cool, guys. Hey, everyone, I'm Craig, or Craig's Coin Purse, for those who don't know me. And I'm the resident degen, sort of chasing the volume and seeing where we can sort of turn $1 hopefully into $3. So thanks for having me. Look, the market, when we spoke last week, had a bit of a pullback. Or just started to, hadn't it, with the fear and greed being quite high, pulled back to 70. But even in saying that, what the positive thing is, not that it would be a negative if it dumped harder, but last week was 42. It's 41K this week. So Bitcoin's hardly pulled back. And then Ethereum, last time we spoke, was 2,200. It's 2,180 today. So again, good signs that after quite big rallies up, yeah, sure, a bit of a pullback, but nothing as terrifying as anything we felt in the bear. Not even close. In fact, I was just looking before, Solana is still up from last week, up $1, admittedly not much, and AVAX up over 10% for the week last time we spoke. So, altcoins, even though Bitcoin had that pullback, some altcoins actually rallied higher against it, which is a positive sign being in the bull, showing you that altcoins the right ones will outperform Bitcoin performance wise.
I saw a huge for, I think it was either SHIB or Inu or DOGE that was going to do a huge burn. I think they timed that up with the next crash in the market to kind of offset it.
Yeah.
Even with that, getting back to like the even numbers, which I always think, play a thing into it. Shiba Inu, back around to that 5 zeros, or is it 5 zeros or four zeros and a 1? Getting that even number type of thing sometimes is some things that people are attracted to. But I saw the same things where there was some, things that just kind of just went sideways, even though the overall market cap maybe squeezed a little bit.
Yeah. And as you also mentioned before, I mean, really the talk of the town at the moment from the group chat, Simon, is, it's Solana really taking the headlines. I mean, obviously the phone was massive. Anyone who follows me knows I've been shilling the living what out of it. But for me, that was a massive play. I've been waiting for something in this bull run which was different, unique, and perhaps could be an innovator or first mover. And the Solana phone came out, the Saga, and it was limited to 20,000 editions. Came with, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 30 million bonk? Just going to have a quick look. 30 million. Yeah, a lot of bonks. So basically the Solana phone came out at $599 US. And at the moment, the bonk it comes with is about $700 US. So effectively, they paid you $100 US to take their phone, which is not a stupid play. I mean, it's kind of the same sort of marketing we see with PlayStation, Nintendo, for them getting their consoles out. They don't make any money on those typically, right? Sometimes they even cop a loss there, knowing they'll make money on the accessories and stuff like that. So for me, it was a really interesting pivot for Solana it's an aggressive play, phones. It's probably I'm no expert in phones, but it's got to be a tough market. I mean, iPhone's got that proper wrapped up amongst.
I'm going to pause you there for a second. I think that's where the next bull market's going to come, is when iPhone says this, like, unleash. Here's your cryptocurrency wallet. You're going to pay for everything with this, that, and the other thing.
Exactly.
Things are kind of like, here we go, because that's all it really takes is wallet safety connectivity within that, because. And it might turn the other thing. It might force us to do wallet connectivity to individual owners, because how many times has someone gotten their stuff stolen because it's left on the community ledger? If it's someone's personal files or personal pictures that you're saving on a cloud within Apple or within that, or your information is being stolen from a bank. So eventually they're going to have that connectivity. And I think that's going to be the next catalyst, is what you're saying. But it also brings me back to another point. Imagine like getting that phone and saving it, never opening it, and then like years down the line, it's like, here's the first like Solana phone with all this cryptocurrency already attached in it. What that would be worth. And I always think of that with like NFTs, of like almost the dust of what an NFT would be worth just in gas, almost in the future. You'd think of like a Satoshi being worth like, maybe hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in the future. And if you just have a couple Satoshis laying in a wallet, it could be a world of difference in 20, 30 years. Same thing with an NFT. It might be worth 0.00000 ETH, but ETH could be worth hopefully tens of thousands of dollars. But, all of a sudden those NFTs are attached to a little bit of ETH that makes it go up. How often do you use the Solana phone? Is it just something that you're buying and selling meme coins with it? Is it something that is actually storing things? Is it something that you just spent your point just to, get it around the ecosystem? Because it is a great way of distribution of it. I mean, why not have a way of distributing it? So, I mean, give us your product review on it, I guess.
I mean, I haven't got the phone yet. It's going to take 5 to 10 days to arrive for me. So fingers crossed, Bonk doesn't, dump hard. But funny enough, after the announcement, it actually went up. So the way I look at it, what better way to get consumers using your product than in their hand? Obviously, reducing friction from a company perspective is massive in trying to introduce money into your ecosystem. One of the limiting factors, I mean, even I'm guilty of this. I tend to mint on my computer. I got to be in front of my computer. So that's where, I have access to my funds. Not saying your phone's safer with the Solana phone, but I can just kind of see them now trying to get that in retail's hands. And also another thing, I can't take my computer with me when I go out and about, right? So if I'm down at the pub, or I'm having a drink with a mate and we're talking about crypto, if I've got a Solana phone in my hand, I'm advertising for them, right? Right there, I'm showing them. And the other thing they're trying to do, which I quite like, is they're kind of trying to break free from the Apple monopoly that exists, whereby I think Apple takes, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about a 30% tax on every transaction that occurs. Not to mention they're not very kind to crypto-based anything. So people who are using an iPhone don't have access to the dApps that these companies want to put in our hands. This bypasses that. So one of the other things you can do is you can mine on it. So I know I think it's Helium, which I think might be a US-based company whereby you can use that phone to mine. And I think it's about $5 a day you earn mining it. So you're positively geared straight away mining on that phone as well. So it's an interesting concept, and I kind of like what they're trying to do. Whether it works or not, for me, I don't think it's what is the main thing, because I actually bought two. So God, I'm really hoping it works. But I like the fact they're pushing the envelope. For me, that's cool, because hopefully someone else will come along now and try that as well. And also it will allow devs to build dApps and put it on there, not have to deal with the Apple taking their big slice. And what was really cool is another 2 tokens announced after the phone sold out. They're going to be doing an airdrop to everyone who has that phone. So really 2 other tokens, tokens within the Solana ecosystem have said, yep, we're sending you money. Now,
Ian, that might be something to look into. I know there's a lot of funds and grants within Solana right now, but seeing if they can donate phones towards the cause. And it's hey, we're going to use your phones to, try for distribution of funds, how people can pay for produce, things along those lines, or for just to flat out talk on to have something that can mine and add value to a workplace environment.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've been talking to some of Polygon's, some of their sustainability people and some other people from there about city farmers. But yeah, I was at this event 2 or 3 weeks ago at Solana's Chicago office, put on by one of the VCs here in Chicago. And yeah, man, I mean, I'm a full believer that it's going to be a multi-chain world. As it stands right now, ETH is slow. The UX is brutal. It's really expensive. Bridging to L2s is not fun. It's not easy. It's expensive. It's a little bit better if you're using Coinbase, but it's not great. And Solana seems really focused on building a consumer-focused, very quick and low transaction cost experience. And yeah, I think different chains are going to have different applications based upon different use cases. And Solana's making a really hard pivot into the consumer-facing end of things. The phone's super interesting. You made some really great points there, Craig, about hardware and the fact that hardware could be a limiting factor for crypto, depending on people's or companies' views on it, right? And then also how closely aligned are some of these hardware manufacturers with governments, for example, right? And how secure is that secure enclave, depending on who it's coming from. So yeah, a lot of interesting questions to be had there. But I think it's really cool what's happening with the Solana phone, with Solana as an ecosystem broadly. Really curious to see what happens with them in this next cycle.
And then another thing is you're saying the onboarding effect of just being able, you're saying, going down to the pub, pulling out your phone and just talking about it. And hey, this is what I can do right now. I'm actually making money while sitting here because this phone is here. And I'm, going through this application where I am, whatever, looking at a even if it's looking at an ad for 5 seconds and getting paid cryptocurrency in for it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, the bar owner, the pub owner, wherever you're living, whatever it's called, like, well, what does that do? Well, I can pay you now in this. Well, how do you do that? Well, simply just put a QR code right here on your cash register. Now I can bump you some boink, and then all of a sudden you can get paid in that. And well, why would I want that over than that? Well, it's making more percentages than the dollar we do down in here in Australia. Sorry. But that those are things that you can do and talk about really easily. And it creates that line of conversation and talk. Speaking about lines of conversation and talk, thank you for listening down there. Pyman, good to have you listening again. It's been a couple weeks. Glad to have you listening. You can get a POAP if you haven't gotten it yet with a capital B for Barry in your POAP secret word. It's capital BERRY. Within there, it has links to everyone who spoke on the show today, from Crypto to the Game to Avery Piper, giving us a 2-minute and 4-second to answer a question, to Craig Coinpurse, tapping in a little bit about overall market flow, and today a little bit on the Solana phone. And we're going to be talking with Ian here in a couple seconds from City Farmers and the proposal that is now live action within the nouns. Craig, what are your thoughts in this next upcoming week? We'll go short term. I'm always in the thought process here in the States, and I've kind of seen it. A lot of people sell right before the end of the year for tax purposes. And then a lot of that money comes back in as soon as the government gives them it back. Sometimes they get a little bit after the first of the year. And then there's another swing a couple weeks after April. Those are little bumps where people think it's free money, but it's just the government giving their money back. So I generally see a little sell-off here. New Year's Eve, you'll usually see a lot of drunk buying, and then you usually see a lot of people getting wrecked right around the first of the year, because that's just what happened. A lot of people get liquidated then. Then it's might be off to the races here up until March. Is my thought process. So I think we're the spring is coiling down for one huge run up for a lot of factors. Alt spring, people getting a little bit more money. Here in the States, it kind of seems like we have deep pockets. A lot of people are in the time of giving, but also don't know what to do with their money right now. Housing markets are crazy. Enough of me talking. What are your thoughts in this space?
I mean, for my thoughts, similar, actually, the same as you, really. I think the market will cool off a little bit. Like you said, there may be a little bit of a sell-off due to you guys in your tax situation, which I always find quite interesting. We're mid-year in Australia. We're June. With you guys at the end of the year. So, yeah, what a stressful time for them to knock that on you guys. How good. But, yeah, same thing. Once, I learned that a while back. So, yeah, could see a bit of a sell-off. I don't know if it'll be anything dramatic to worry about. What I do remember about this time last year is there's typically opportunities, but it'll be left field stuff where you're going to see people make a bit of money this month. Last time was I mentioned it last time was the NFT burn market. The open editions kind of kicked off. It was in December, was running hard. So I'll keep my eye out and see what's going to pop off. At the moment, to be honest, it looks like it's going to be at the moment running at Solana meme coins. That's where people are making their money. So I don't know. For me, it feels like the NFT open editions has been replaced by meme coins on low gas. Love it or hate it. Like, I prefer it to be art personally, but it is what it is, right? If that's where people are going to put their money, then that's where you've got to put your money, because that's the only way it's going up. But exactly what you said, I think you'll find your big boys might sell off a bit. Your Bitcoin might cool off a bit or just continue trending sideways. A couple of altcoins might pop off, but to be honest, I think it'll be random crap for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then Q1, Q2 next year, I think, is where we'll be having a really good time, and we'll all be laughing, and we'll be talking about stupid people like me making hopefully stupid money on stupid shit that no one could pick, right? Like, we're going to start. I can't wait to start hearing the stories about how Bob in Wisconsin made $20 million buying some shit coin that no one knew about. Like, that's when those stories start coming, which they're close to. That's when we know we're in full-fledged bull. But yeah, I think this month will be the rest of the month will be quite slowish. Obviously, Christmas and New Year's, I don't know how much trading typically. I remember it last year. I don't think it was a heck of a lot of volume. So there'll be a couple of plays, but I think for myself personally, I'll focus on Sol meme coins for the next sort of week, and then I might even just, you know, spend a bit of time with the family. I think is probably a bit of use of that last week of the year. But I say that now, man, but I doubt that's going to be the case. I'm sure I'm going to still visit.
Your new phone will be coming in. You'll be pulling anything on that new phone that you can be.
I'll be mining some crap coin somewhere, I suppose, is what I'll be doing, eating some ham, man. But I sort of, you know, I think, you know, a lot of people probably getting towards this time of year might be a bit like me, maybe a bit burnt out or needing a break. So this might be a good opportunity when the volume's low to, you know, it's kind of a funny thing when things are popping off, it's hard to pull yourself away. But I think Christmas time is a good excuse. So, and I probably think a lot of people think that way. So I might take an opportunity to kick back a little bit, eat a lot of food, come back really fat in January, and hopefully fill my pockets full of normie ETH or whatever it is that comes in.
You're supposed to plump up during the winter, but you're on the southern hemisphere, so you're in the summer. So, you know, usually you plump up like a bear for the winter. Craig, I appreciate the knowledge every week. And sometimes it is just following that meme coin, getting lucky, keeping your ear to the ground. And it might be having that mobile connectivity and having instant transactions from that phone on a Solana network that you're not wasting money in gas fees. That could be the difference in all of that. If you haven't claimed the POAP, you can claim the POAP right now. Yes, you can claim that POAP right now. Capital B for Berry, Berry, and Y for that berry, because we have berries growing in the new banner ad, or not banner ad, but the banner behind Ian here. The creator, the founder, the brainchild behind the City Farmers. And you can watch this video to kind of get caught up with what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. And the proposal is now live action.
Heck yeah.
That's right. Vote yes for Proposition 465. And if you don't have voting rights, you can go into Nouns, www.nouns.camp/proposals with an S /465. And within there, you can put an I believe yes vote within that. So then you can let Nouns, people who vote and cast their vote on Nouns, to get that yes vote up there. And about 90 minutes ago, within minutes, not even hours, Ian, what do you feel now that that proposal is up there and active? Congratulations. Take a deep breath. It's been a long, hard journey to get to this point. I know the journey is not over yet. I saw you on Spaces and heard you on Spaces earlier, heard you all week, putting up the good fight, which what you have been doing since I first met you. Man, congratulations. If I was there to give you a hug, I would, and I'd pat you on the back. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. You should give yourself a pat on the back right now, because man, that proposal is live and it took a lot of work to get to this point. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Yeah. A mix of things, right? On the one hand, relieved. The first time I ever shared the at least the basis of this proposal idea with Nouns was January 31st of this year, looking back through the Discord. So it literally has been a year-long process of bringing this proposal, to bear. So on the one hand, relieved because we got the job done. On the other hand, excited, energized for the vote. I'm just curious to see what the DAO thinks. We've been talking to a lot of people and we have conversations over the next 2 days with some of the voters. So we'll continue to get a feel for it. But yeah, just really curious to see what the DAO thinks. I think it's going to be yes, but we'll find out. And then also, I mean, even assuming it passes, the work is only just beginning, right? So that's that's really how I feel, is locked and loaded and ready to move to the next phase of really getting things actualized into real life. But yeah, stoked to be here and stoked to have formed all the partnerships we did along the way.
Up on the top, you see the pinned tweet, live action talking from his Twitter handle. Within that Twitter handle, you can get into City Farmers and cityfarmers.com. Glad you're listening. Julie, thank you for listening. Pyman, thank you for listening. Definitely retweet the room. Retweet the pin, any of those pinned tweets up at the top, so we can get some recognition towards this worthy cause. Right in my backyard, right in Ian's backyard. And it's something that is just going to keep growing and growing and growing larger, just because I see the circle of friends that we've been able to attach towards it. And then not only with that, but just the traction with the tweets that I was been able to put out this week as well. Just trying to make awareness of what Web3 is doing within this this ecosystem, the entire ecosystem of our planet, in multiple fashions. And a lot of people view it from from the outside as Web3 is sometimes more in a negative limelight, but these are more of the positive things that are happening within the space that need to be shown and shown more often. And with that, it's just a true community effort to put towards this. What was the largest hurdle up to this point right now, Ian?
In terms of like the nouns process, or?
I would say either that, the longevity, like you said, I mean, from July till now, getting to this
January.
point. I mean, January to now, I mean, wow, you're looking almost a full year on it. Lots of hurdles. You do have a full-time job. You still have other things to do. Balancing this on the side. I mean, the longevity to keep pressing forward on this is just outstanding.
Thanks. Yeah, with the nouns, it takes a bit to get into the ecosystem and to really learn like who people are and what the motivations are, what the mood of the DAO is. I mean, literally from week to week to week, block to block, really on the chain. The moods and taste of the DAO can shift. So really spending that time. We probably could have proposed this a lot earlier, but I felt it would have been a disservice to the people we're looking to partner with to not spend that time getting to know their community, getting to know their language, getting to know their style, getting to know their motivations and their desires, and bring in something that really can align with that. I mean, nothing really changed on my end. We've been working on the City Farmers as a concept for the better part of like 3 years. And yeah, nothing really changed in terms of the execution plan there, but presenting it to nouns in a way that would make sense to them, where they understood that like, we're not just here for your money. We're here because we see you for the community of people that you are, and we want to partner with you in that. That was the hard work that took a year to do.
Yeah, because you can't just like hop in. It's different if you, or if you're a nouns holder and you can just be like, launch a proposal. You're already baked into the ecosystem, but to see exactly what they need as far as a philanthropic approach towards their DAO is extremely important, rather than just rushing to put it out there, seeing if they have money to throw around, rather to see what the needs are to incorporate them within the process of establishing a name for themselves outside of just making cool art, but now in the production of sustainable resources in an environment that might be hard to grow in the city of Chicago, that could help others as far as educational resources towards learning how to do vertical growing in an urban setting, and also use of space, because a lot of the buildings in Chicago are just kind of vacant and not being used. So, I mean, how can landlords and how can people repurpose things that are just not being used?
Yeah, dude, 100%. I was doing some math on commercial real estate too. I was looking at some buildings downtown that have like whole floors that are vacant, and then doing the math on like how many plants we could grow. And I was like, we could grow 8 acres worth of strawberries in that one building, and there's a grocery store on the other end of the block. We need to be doing this like tomorrow, like you know,
And
yeah,
they don't need to be coming from miles away, being sprayed with pesticides and this and that. And, it also gives area for people to work too. I mean,
exactly.
if it's, someone who needs a job, and there's always this, I mean, thankfully right now unemployment's really low, but there's also people who need jobs, who are, maybe coming out of, being reformed, or if their immigration status is different than ours, they are looking for that next step of how they can establish themselves back in society. And what better way than a fully baked plan here that you have not only presented, but is now active and ongoing within the Nouns proposal 465, active just like a couple minutes ago. I mean, it's just live action. So I'm going to get in on my computer and get some tweets and retweets going. I would appreciate the listeners down below doing that exact same thing, as helping the cause, because it really doesn't cost anything to send a retweet out. And if you are in that giving spirit, you can go over to www.nouns.camp/proposals with an S /465. It does cost you gas. It does notify the Nouns DAO holders that people are interested outside of being a Nouns holder in proposing good things for that, for this project, and for the people associated within the areas of where I live. So it directly affects us. And
Novo, if I can add something, I think
go for it.
Yeah, I think, Ian, one thing that I admire, especially when you're talking about like being patient with learning about how Nouns works and like respecting that process, I think that's something me and Novo, especially early on working for this company that would make these projects for these really large companies, Fortune 500s, was a really interesting perspective that maybe has changed over time, but I think is still very valuable, is to respect the OGs of this space to some degree, to understand that you have to be inclusive to those people for all of the projects that you make to some degree, to get, I don't know, to have like a holistic experience when you launch a project, especially with a project that's, I mean, Nouns is the DAO. Like there's other DAOs out there, but Nouns is kind of renowned, like they are the figurehead for what DAOs can accomplish. I mean, there's other ones that are big, but Nouns is the one. So the same way Novo and I think, and me even less so, Novo was really in the trenches, kind of always considering, would, X copy be interested in partnering with something like this, or would Medici, or would G Money, or sorry, I'm on an avenue here, so you might hear some trucks going by, maybe with some strawberries, unnecessary carrying of strawberries. But yeah, I just wanted to say I really respect that you took that time, because although it could be easy to, once everything's in place, and I could imagine it's not easy to get everything in place, especially getting all those parties together who are going to actually do the physical work. I still think it's really awesome, and almost like a showing that you didn't put your ego to the side to some degree, just to make sure that you're being inclusive. And that's so, I think that's lost a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Thank you, Avery. I really appreciate that, man, because yeah, dude, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Like it just, they're, to be frank, my ambitions are massive, and you cannot do the things that I want to do alone. And so for me to even attempt to try to take credit for all of it just would be a disservice to all the people who are helping me make it happen, And the other thing to me too is the resources that a person has to offer are far less interesting to me than the conversation that I share with a person and the feelings that I experience when I'm sharing their company. And so that was important for me too. I mean, okay, great. Nouns has whatever millions of dollars and they fund cool stuff. But to be frank, a lot of people have millions of dollars and fund cool stuff. I know a lot of people who have millions of dollars and fund cool stuff. What mattered to me was, wow, holy shit, there's so many people here, even if they don't have the actual NFT, who are in this ecosystem, who think really big, who, when I tell them like, hey, I want to revolutionize the global food system and make it more fair, just, and equitable, their reaction isn't like, yeah, okay, but like, how's your day job going, buddy? Their reaction is like, wow, dude, that's awesome. Tell me more. How can I help? You know, and so that's the reason ultimately for like the Nouns proposal and for spending the year doing it, you know, and bringing it to them was like, wow, this community of people is somebody who it would be a joy and an honor to have their name attached to my life's work, frankly. Yeah, you know, so that matters as much as any. You know, resources are great, but resources are abundant. You know, vibes are rare.
AP, what you were maybe alluding to, and which it was back in the day, we did have to be very, we had to know the community before bullying in. So the featured Nouns DAO, featured Nouns glasses in a Super Bowl commercial on a real beverage can. So like we didn't, when we had the description there, the exchange for one noun from Nouns DAO, prominent beverage company will include Noun glasses in a 2022 Super Bowl commercial. So we didn't really put Budweiser in there. We didn't get too crazy with any of it. But we did need to talk to the community and see if it was something that would work, because we had to spend time, energy, and probably fun. Weren't mine to making an ad into a Super Bowl show. And it needed to pass through Nouns, and we couldn't just go in there and bully it around saying Budweiser this, Budweiser that, because there had to be some secrecy to it, to Super Bowl, and I don't know, however all that stuff works. It's past my pay grade. But you did the proper thing about embedding yourself into that community, and you can just go up there if you see the top URL, if you want to type it in, if you're listening at home, nouns.wtf/vote/465, or there again, the proposals. So if you have a noun vote, get in there and vote. Ian, what's the best thing for everyone to get this thing going here? I mean, I'm telling people to retweet and like it, because that gets the word out there to the Nouns voters as well. Is there a hashtag we should maybe get going? Is there, should we put @NounsDAO? I know, almost like live business meeting going on right here.
Right.
What's the best plan of attack?
Those, Nouns is a DAO, and therefore on-chain activity is everything. So those 0 votes on the nouns.camp, those are in terms of signal that the DAO will, recognize and take into consideration as it's voting over the next 3-4 days. Those 0 votes there are the single biggest signal you can send. Love retweets, love likes. If you're on Warpcast and want to jump in the Nouns channel over there, show some love and re-warps, recasts, I forget what they're called, over there, right? Or just make some posts in support of it. Of course, that'd be huge. But what the DAO as an on-chain entity really is going to hear are those on-chain votes there on nouns.camp.
Excellent. There is the Nouns DAO camp proposal. If you're watching live, it's in that lower left-hand corner. How long is the active? I guess it says it right here. I guess I can click and look on it. That's right. That's what this technology button does here.
Up at the top a little bit, yeah.
21st. We have until the 21st. 5 days. 4 or 5 day vote. Get in there.
Yep.
Spread that love. AP, maybe we can get them on 2 and 4 for a 2-minute and 4-second question. We can get out there on LinkedIn as well. That any micro content can help within that space. Thank you, friends, for actually spreading my content out there as well and linking into the streaming service that provides the visuals for all of this today, because I saw it on it's all pinned up there. So thank you for putting up their Ian and Greg, and all this stuff will be on YouTube as well. So go on the YouTube channels, go on to LinkedIn, 2 and 4 on LinkedIn as well. Great content out there, popping daily, almost in the Beeple effect. We're going to be like 5,000 days in, and it'll have a 2-minute and 4-second podcast from everyone in the world, even if it is interviewing one of his cats. If he cannot get out of his house and find someone that particular day, it just happens. Yes. Almost like Justin Aversano, he did a picture of someone on their birthday every single day for a year. And he came down to the last 25 minutes, I think 3 or 4 times. And he was like, honestly, like running around like, is it your birthday? Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday? And finally someone's like, yeah, it's my birthday. And took a picture of them, explained it, and got the, someone to sign off on using the picture in photography. And so that's just the endurance for all the people who are making things in the world. And even if it is making money, chasing meme coins on Solano, even if it is making berries sustainably in the city of Chicago, even if it is making art during a live show on physical apparel, we're all doing our things here. And I appreciate people for listening. Check out Crypto the Game. I'm interested in it, and why not? Kind of winner take all. And there's got to be good game mechanics behind it. That guy seemed like a genius. JR Token for coming on. Avery Piper for injecting a nice 1-minute and 4-second question for all of us to answer. Craig Coin Purse from the inside look from Following the Volume. Ian with the Nouns proposal, live action. Even if you can't vote, get into the camp proposal room. I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. Christmas Eve, probably not going to have a show then, but I might have some free time. So we might just go on at some crazy, weird times that we're all free and just pop a show off. So
hopefully be celebrating.
Yeah. And we'll maybe get some more Nounsbury meeting Twitter spaces going. So you might see Ian and I out in the space. Maybe not from my Twitter handle, but maybe from my Twitter handle as well. So look for us all around the area, the Barria, as we can say. I hope you enjoyed the POAPs. Anything else for the good of the cause, my friends?
Yeah, if I could real quick.
You can take all the steps you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, for anybody who's interested in building with Nouns, just know, like, you don't have to submit $250,000 proposals. This literally, they gave me like $450 to sign a contract, and like that's how this proposal started. Like if you go to prop.house, the website, there's these like small dollar rounds. You can do a few $100s, a few thousand, different ideas. And if you look at our proposal, it's sponsored by the Lil Nouns. They're like a sub-DAO of Nouns, and their whole goal is to find talent in the ecosystem and help build it up and ultimately sponsor you to be on chain with Nouns. So they sponsored me like $20,000 to do a really cool skate event a few months back. And now they sponsored us to put this on chain. So just want to give credit where credit's due, to the people who helped us get here, but also to anybody who's interested in doing really big stuff yourself. There's a road to get there through Nouns. Jump into the Discords, follow people on Twitter, DM them. They're a very friendly community. And you never know, you might find some money for your really cool idea and birth it into the world. So.
I'm looking up now because we're in Brady Bunch style mode on the screens. If you're watching live, Ian, that's why I love you. That's why I want to build for you. You're helping others that helped you along the way, even though, you need help with getting this proposal passed, because I want to make good things with you furthermore, which we will regardless of how this turns out. But like, you're giving where credit's due. Because people got you here, just like people got me here. So that's why having you on the show consistently, all my friends here on the show are here consistently because they're helping me navigate this space, and they're kind of my alpha in this space. Can't do it ourselves. None of us can do it ourselves. Thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays. That's about it. Maybe we'll play some tunes here, some exit music. I guess I can cue that up. Takes a second. There we go.
23, 69. 23, 69. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse, in the NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse, in the NovoVerse. It's lit in the NovoVerse, in the NovoVerse. NFTs in the NovoVerse, the NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse, NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse, NovoVerse.
And you got 4 viewers watching right now. Thank you for all the viewers watching our Indians there. 235 are viewers in the NovoVerse. Thank you for all those viewers in there. I mean, that's what we get, 300-400 people watching. Thank you for watching the NovoVerse. Tune in. Well, we're going to come in at some weird times here because I might have some free time coming on. But, yeah, vote yes on that proposal if you guys are watching out there, and send some love out that way because we need more of it out there. You can watch live. You can watch recorded on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on right here on Twitter as well. So stay positive and love life. Peace. And the stream.